Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Koopalings, and welcome back to the Nintendo Shack again. Is it the fifth time that we're doing this? We're trying to do this locally so we can still have a show. For those of you that joined us on the YouTubes for the live show, I apologize. I apparently am having some major internet issues that are stopping us from streaming live. So we're trying to record this locally to have a show. But if we don't, then I'm going to throw my computer in the yard and go Office Space on it.
We don't want that.
That's a good amount of money to throw away.
So we're going to kind of restart the show, but we're going to make some cuts just so it's not too late because we're already recording later than we normally do. But yes, we're back to the Nintendo Shack, episode 182. So let me thank those that produce the show over at patreon.com/PSVG. So thank you, Michael Masick, Barry Cathcart, Callow, Stephen Keller, Nick Creature, Rude Days 93, B-Mox, Rob Emanuel, Nick Valhalber, Paul Calico, Kyle and Josh from Board with Video Games, Grouchy Surge, Devin Tyus, RJ Kern, Horse Girl 69, and Zach Adams. We appreciate everything that you do to support us over there. Hope you guys are enjoying your Patreon bonuses. So we talked about some games on the first stream. I have no idea what the quality of those are. So we're just going to omit those. We'll work them into next week or the weeks to come, right? We'll work them in as we play more of them later. We're just going to jump right into Pokemon Snap because that's the newest release. I am playing the new Pokemon Snap. Rebecca, I see that you're still playing the new Pokemon Snap.
I am. I'm personally trying to go for 100%, which is significantly more to do than there was in the first game, and it is proving to be a lot. But as of last night, I have photographed every Pokemon in the game.
That's fantastic. That's amazing.
Congrats.
It was, and I made sure I was doing it without looking anything up. I didn't use any guide. I didn't get any help from friends. I wanted to personally find every single one myself. And the last couple, like I knew which Pokemon were in it because I've seen pictures and stuff and I had to help like kind of guide it and stuff. But I like kind of knew where the last ones were. At the end, it when you finish like each Pokemon in a course, it tells you once you've got every Pokemon in that course. So by the end, I kind of knew which course was, the last one that I had to find one in.
Nice.
But cool. I'm very excited to hear Donnie's impressions because we haven't heard anything from you yet.
Yeah, nothing.
So first and foremost, I haven't played a whole lot. I'm in the volcano level. That's as far as I've made it. I don't know how far that is in the game. I've just been, as I said on Empire last night, I bought a new car. We had tornadoes. Had family in from town. Like I've been just doing a lot of stuff, so I haven't been playing a whole lot. Which I was wondering. I was thinking to myself if maybe that was affecting how I'm playing, or if how I'm playing is affecting like basically my overall take from it. So my initial impressions are, I think it's a good game. I think it's a really good game. I feel like it's lacking, I don't know, like that special feeling that I hold the first one in, and I'm not exactly sure why. Objectively, I love the way that it looks. I think you undersold the graphics, Rebecca. I think it's gorgeous. It's really,
it is gorgeous.
It's a really pretty game, and I'm enjoying that. I really one of the things that you definitely didn't undersell is that it's definitely dense. I feel almost like a frantic level of panning the camera and stuff when I'm going through the course. There's so much happening on the left, on the right, that if I'm looking one way, I totally feel like I'm missing something the other way. And it makes me want to replay the levels because I can see that even when I did play the levels, I'm like, I definitely missed something, or I could have got that better if I had known to look for it. So in that regard, I think it's really nice and it's different. Because I never felt that way when playing the first one. The first one always felt like such a chill game. As you described it, like they're almost like set pieces, right? Like there were periods in the first game you could just not photograph anything as you get to kind of the next set. Like that's never really happening in this game. Like the amount that I'm spinning 360 degrees. There's stuff going on behind me that wasn't going on when I just passed it. And there's stuff, like the amount of birds that I've missed because I'm looking at the ground, I'm looking over here, and then I see a shadow or I hear some wings, and I'm like, damn it.
And it makes you want to go back and do the course immediately afterwards, even if something else has opened up. You're like, oh, but like I know that there's something else that I can do in this course again.
It does.
Okay.
I don't really have issues, but some nitpicks that I have is I do not like the default control scheme almost at all. This is the first game that I have ever used the Switch's custom control feature, like the button.
Wow.
Okay.
They use L and R, which I don't understand why they're not using ZL and ZR. They're using the top trigger, not the bottom trigger, and that's weird.
That's weird to me.
Yeah, it's weird because it doesn't feel. I mean, I use the bumpers all the time too, but like I almost feel like the bumpers are accessories to the trigger versus the opposite way around, right? I want to use the triggers. So to do that, you can't in the game. The game doesn't have a control scheme for that. So I'm actually having to map L and R to ZL and ZR in the Switch's features to play. And then also the sticks, I reverse the sticks, and there is a control scheme for that in the game.
I was going to say, you can inverse it, you can change the sensitivity and things like that.
Yeah, and I've bumped all of that up too. I also thought it was too slow. It's way too slow. I was like 10 across the board. So Garrett, when you're playing this, there's 2 stick control options, which I don't feel like is of the first one. You can move the reticle, like there's a reticle, like a gun.
Right.
And you can move the camera. Independently of one another.
So it's like it's like a Star Fox shooter.
Yeah, it really is.
So you need inverse sticks for this.
And that's so that ultimately, because it feels like a shooter, I'm like, the controls are not working for me at all. Like that's why I feel like it was almost, I think I played this game for 10 minutes. I was like, this isn't going to work. So I remapped everything and I got it the way that I wanted to, but I have run into an issue and I feel like I'm just not doing the remappings correctly. I'm running into the issue where like if I quit the game, like the Switch tells me, it's like, hey, do you want to reset the controls? And I always tell them no, but a couple occasions when I've popped it back in, I've had to do it again. So that's a minor annoyance. It's a minor annoyance. And talk about how beautiful the game is. It's not like great when you're judging your captures after the course. Like
sometimes they have like the weird outline.
They're so edgy and like, why is this like it looks so beautiful? Why does this screenshot look so bad? So and like I said, that doesn't matter. Just a nitpick comment to that I wrote down. But ultimately I like the game, but there is a part of me. And I think I don't know. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I don't know. There's a part of me that doesn't feel pulled to play it. Like I have not played this game, I think, for longer than 2 or 3 courses at a time. Like I'm not like, I want to sit down and play this game for 7 hours. Like I just don't have it. And I don't know if it's because I'm doing a lot of things. I got a lot of things that's going on. I'm busy. I don't know, and I wonder if it maybe is just the Pokemon. Like a lot of the Pokemon in this game aren't my Pokemon.
Right, you don't recognize these Pokemon.
I don't recognize a lot of them just off face value. Like I know they're Pokemon, I'm taking pictures of them, but I don't really care about them. One of the questions I want to ask you, Rebecca, is like the legendaries or special Pokemon, are they in every level? Like am I missing them? Because I don't think I have any of them.
Minor spoiler, are you okay with me saying?
Yeah.
They're not until post-game.
Oh.
There is a lot of stuff that opens up post-game.
Okay, because I'm like level 2, level 3, all these things, and I'm like, where are the cool moments? Like and I feel like I'm wondering to myself, I'm like, am I just not doing it well?
So yes, this game is kind of, you're in it for the long haul if you're trying to figure out all the secrets and everything. I am about 38, I want to say, hours in, and I am still, even though I found every Pokemon as of last night, I'm still finding new things. There's branching paths in courses that I am just still figuring out, that I'm just still finding. I'm seeing people online talk about branching paths that I haven't found at all yet. And I'm like, oh my God, wait, you were able to go there?
It's nice to know that
I wasn't able to go there. There's very specific things, like you have to do this, and this for this to happen.
Wow.
That's like, you have to either just get it by chance, or like you're really trying to figure it out, or somebody gives you a hint towards it. So those little secrets are there. I think we're we remember the original so well, and we have these high expectations. We have these like, memories of those secrets in that game, and we have expectations of what we want that to be. So because they're different in this game, like we don't know what they are yet. Like we don't have kind of that soft spot for these memories that we have for the first game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I do want to say like those secrets are there. They're
okay.
different.
Well, that's good to know, because I've been playing it, and so far through the volcano, I'm like, this all feels pretty standard.
Yeah.
Like I'm not feeling that hook.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of stops me from, there are times when I've played this game where I'm like, I don't want to keep playing.
I think a lot of the magical moments happen late and post-game, especially when you're trying to get the 4-star photos of the pictures, especially the legendaries, especially some of those cooler Pokemon.
Okay.
If you, like, it's totally optional to get the 4-star photos, so I feel like the people who don't go out of their way to do that are missing those cool things. And, like, the only cool thing about it is, like, the Pokemon does something really cool and you take, like, a really nice shot of it.
Yeah.
So if you're not really into that, like, it's kind of low, you're doing a lot for kind of like a low reward type of thing. But those are the cool magical moments, like figuring out what to do to make that Pokemon do that really cool thing.
Yeah. And there are some courses that I've really liked. I think I've gotten a couple 4 stars. I've definitely got a lot of 3 stars. Like I feel like I'm doing it well. But yeah, like as I was kind of, how late is the volcano? Like how many more courses are there?
You have several more courses to unlock.
All right. So yeah, so maybe I just got to play it a lot more apparently. Yeah. I kind of wish there was a little bit more earlier on, I guess maybe.
It's honestly, and one of the things that I did talk about in my review is the pacing. I feel like the beginning is very slow.
It's slow.
Then
That's how I'm feeling. It's like it's slow.
Yeah. Then you unlock, I think you unlocked like the volcano and the beach at the same time. So like kind of all that opened up and it was kind of like, oh my God, there's all these things to do now. Right now you're in another slow stretch.
Okay.
Once you get past the slow stretch, it's kind of like that slow, slow grind for it. A bunch of other stuff like kind of happen at once.
And carte blanche, like I said, I haven't had a whole lot of time to play either. So
it's just weird pacing. The pacing is definitely a negative in the game.
It's worked well for me in that regard because I am kind of playing in just like a course when I can. I'm just kind of doing one run and putting it away and doing one run and putting it away.
Yeah.
But I just want to be true. There are times like today, like I played 2 courses and got to the volcano just because we were recording. Like it's the only reason I even wanted to turn it on. I was like, well, I got to talk about it. I need to play some more.
Personally, I think the most interesting courses happen after the point you're at.
Okay. That's really good to know because like the underwater level, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, the first couple courses, like I wish,
super fun.
I wish they had, diversified it a little bit more in the beginning. I get kind of why they did it this way, but it's all pretty much the ones that you see in the trailer. Like it's like very like grass, water, water.
Yeah,
it's a very samey. I think that you're not really finding a whole lot of new things. Like the volcano is really the first course that you're finding different types of Pokemon, and there's really only so much that lives there.
And I mean, this I'm pretty sure it's just because I haven't played it as much, but like my flute and stuff doesn't appear to be doing a whole lot. Like I'm using it all the time and I'm like, nothing's happening.
Yeah, it's very situational. I think the items in this game are a lot more situational than they were in the other game. Okay. It's very for getting those like certain star interactions. And like you have to use them in combination. It's very weird.
It may sound like I'm down on the game. I'm not. I'm just not like over the moon with it either. It's just kind of a good game.
Makes sense.
It's a good game. It's a good Pokemon Snap game. Yeah, and I do think, Garrett, I think it's some of the Pokemon. Like some of the Pokemon.
You're just not familiar, and there's so much Pokemon now.
Like there's this, there's this little, I don't even know, like this little Gilgar looking sand thing that goes in the sand. I was like, what the hell is that?
Now, if it was all first gen, or was it all Cubone?
Oh man, when I found Pinsir, I was like, yeah, now we're talking. Like, let's go. But there's a lot of that too. So I'm enjoying it. It's okay. It's a good game.
Yeah, there's a lot more content in front of you. I think you will probably end up feeling generally that same way throughout the whole game. But I think you'll find the courses to be more interesting as you go on.
On the downside, Resident Evil comes out this weekend.
Yeah, you're gonna drop Snap for that
in a heartbeat. Like ultimately, I think that's another part of it. Like I was playing Judgment before this, and I'm just like, this isn't so good that I want to play it versus other like I'm like in there with I'm like I'm playing this game, but I'm only playing it because I have a Nintendo podcast. Like I want to play something else, you know.
I think that it is the perfect type of game to, and it sounds so stereotypical to say that, but to pick up and play in short bursts.
Yeah.
Because it really is designed that way. Like you said, you're playing a course or two here or there. Yeah. Like you're going to unlock more things. Eventually, when you unlock the next course, you're going to like get excited for it's about that discovery. Like, what are you finding this first time kind of thing. So I think if you're trying to find every little secret in the game, you know, you will play it longer and you will, you know, have fun discovering that.
I totally get your point on the story. I could care less about the in-between levels. I'm literally just trying to snap through that as fast as possible. Likewise, I wish grading the pictures was faster.
It's slow.
After doing 5 levels or so, I'm like, come on.
I kind of miss Professor Oak's like brutal, like, you were close, but this kind of sucks.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that opinion. Yeah, because it all feels very throwaway or not important, or just you're just sitting there and like you just ding 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 and you got to go through every single one. Like I just want to skip all of that so I can go and do the run again.
Donnie, I think we lost you.
Yeah, that was a bad internet jump.
Am I back?
We can't see.
You're back. You're back.
Oh, there you are.
Okay.
That was like the first
you're good.
like thing though. That
okay. Well, we've got locals.
Yeah, we do.
You want to mark the time?
Yeah. 60 minutes. So yeah, ultimately, that's how I'm feeling about new Pokemon Snap. It's good. Probably wasn't going.
I'm curious to hear kind of your impressions as you unlock the levels that you really haven't seen during the trailers, because I feel like most of what you've played. Oh well, you haven't really watched the trailers, have you?
None.
So that was all pretty new to you then. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but again, very samey. Like jungle's kind of the same as like the national park and they're a little different, but they're very much the same. The beach, the reef is kind of all the same to me. The underwater, like that's all thematically the same in my opinion. I think once you start unlocking some of the other stuff, you might enjoy those.
Yeah. I wish my interactions were a little more memorable with the Pokemon. Like I'm not feeling like I'm having a whole lot of that. Like I got a Torchic to like light an apple on fire.
Oh, that's so cute.
You know, and I got a Alolan Raichu, and you know, like I think I'm getting the stuff I'm supposed to be getting. It's just not all that great. You know,
it's not memorable to you.
Yeah, I got the Sharkpedo. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, is that the Sharknado? Yeah,
I got him to chase Squirtle, so he's like trying to eat Squirtle in the water. That was funny. That's like the most memorable thing I've seen so far.
Yeah, and more of those happen. Like I said, it is I think a negative that you do have to wait until post game for a lot of those exciting ones to happen. There's not going to be a whole lot of people that are playing it after you beat the game.
The game
but
is
I will
meant to
say
be
that
played multiple times.
It is, it is. But I do imagine a lot of people will stop playing it after they hit the credits. But a lot of my favorite moments did happen after I beat the game, which I think is a little bit unfair.
Yeah, so it's good. It's good.
I'll wait for it.
It's good. Yeah, that's the best thing to say about it. It's good. It's not great. I wouldn't tell anybody to like run out there and get it. It's not my favorite thing ever, but it's good. West 3DP wants to know, this is a question, who has the highest Photodex score? Bland, are you even playing? So you're waiting on library, and Rebecca,
waiting on library. Not paying $6.
My Photodex score is over 2 million.
Wow. You know, another thing that I'm totally not doing is I'm not doing any of that album stuff, like at the end of the course where it's like, save your photos. I'm like, I don't care.
You know, I mean, that's all optional. That's like if you want to share it online. I'm trying to get the sweet medals. Go like all of my pictures, everybody. I want to get achievements for them. I'm trying to 100% it, which means getting a 1, 2, 3, and 4-star picture of every Pokemon. So just because I found every Pokemon, I'm not done. I want to get a 1-star to 4-star interaction for everything, because it is counted separately in the Photodex. I want to max out the research level of every course, which I am almost done. I probably won't get Diamond Star on everything. That's like the best score for each star. That's like kind of a little extra to me, but
it's a little crazy.
Yeah, and I would like to do all of the research tasks as well. And I think if you're ever
I've been
getting
doing
stuck,
a lot of those.
Yeah, if you're getting stuck like with kind of how to get a certain star interaction, or like you're not really sure what to do next, like go to those. Those help you out. I didn't really do those during the story, but if you're looking for things to do, those are a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into this week in Nintendo. And just last night, Nintendo released their fiscal year-end financials, and we got a lot of numbers to go over, so I'll try to go over them quickly. Nintendo Switch is now Nintendo's fourth best-selling console of all time at 84.59 million units, surpassing the GBA, I believe, this week.
Oh, is it the GBA?
It did.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the Wii in their sights as they start to close in on 100 million, like it's there. They've sold 587 million units of software. 36 titles have gone over 1 million copies sold. 14 of those titles are from third parties. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the game that came out on Wii U, has sold 35.39 million copies on Switch, which is a number that's really close to what I think Mario Kart sold on Wii, and I think it would probably surpass it as the highest selling Mario Kart of all time.
That's like 10 million in the past year.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's like crazy.
It's a lot. And we've talked a lot about Mario Kart 9. Now, Rebecca, you have a firm opinion. You think it'll, I want to say this right, you think it won't happen on Switch?
I don't see it happening on Switch. I mean, they marketed Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS for the entire lifespan of the 3DS. And that's also one of the I think that's the best selling 3DS game. There's no reason to make another one after that when this one's doing so well. I would be very sad if it didn't get DLC. I think I'm no marketing genius, but I feel like you have an install base of 35 million people, many of which who would buy additional DLC.
Almost a 40% attach rate to the entire console.
Honestly,
that's insane.
I think, you price it the same way that you did it for for the game when you did it for the Wii U, and think of how much you're selling. Like, you don't need to sell the whole new game to make that much more money. I think it's silly that they're not. We've talked about this.
Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite route. I think if the Switch Pro is what we think it is, I think there's the opportunity here to extend the Switch's life cycle potentially another 5 years, and if that's the case, then I think we get another Mario Kart.
That, I think, would be the only situation that they would do it. I feel like that's a new enough console that it would seem like an upgrade. I think it would look way different. It would have a way new gimmick.
Its own Mario Kart, which this isn't. Yeah. This is still a port.
From the ground up, this is dedicated to the Switch.
And I bet Nintendo's looking at this like, we can do this again.
Yeah.
We got 35 million people that bought Mario Kart, and we can make them buy 35 million, more.
And I bet it can transition to the next console or whatever it is.
If there is one.
If there is one, for sure. Or just keep constantly updating it. I don't
I'm not
see
sold
them.
That the Switch isn't like a family of systems for like the next 10 years. Like, I'm not sold
like
that's not the case. That like the Switch Pro, and there's like another Switch Pro, like, and we just do this for a little bit. Like, I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's not going
to be the best case scenario, to be honest.
I agree.
I don't see a crazy jump from like previous consoles, right?
I bring up the iPad thing, and I think that's the route to go with Switch. It's the iPad, and there's a lot of different iPads, but they're all iPads, and they all have access to this library based on whatever your version of the iPad is.
Switch family of systems. Yeah, totally.
So there's a lot of other. I mean, we've got numbers. We can just read over the numbers. But like Animal Crossing New Horizons, over 30 million copies sold. Anytime you go,
that's in a year.
30 million copies of a video game is like Mount Rushmore level. I mean, like, there's just not a lot of games in the history of video games that go over that number. That's really, really impressive. Equally impressive, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, 22 million copies. Now, I didn't research the legacy of Zelda sales, but I've been doing this a long time. I know 22 million for a Zelda game is a lot. Most of the time, they're like 6, and 6 is a lot. Like, 6 is great.
6 is successful, right?
Like, a really, really good one goes like 10 or 12. 20 million Zelda copies.
Is this the best-selling Zelda game, right, in the franchise?
I don't believe so. I'm looking it up right now.
Please do, because I would say yeah, but maybe there's something out there that
maybe there's a combined
maybe
like
versions
Twilight
of everything because it came out on everything.
But
I don't think so.
I think it might be.
I think it is
past or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think
it is. Yeah.
I think it is. It probably is by a large margin. I feel like the highest selling one before that was at like 11.
Ocarina of Time was at 14 million.
14. See,
there you go.
For comparison.
Yeah, and for
Link's Awakening was at 12.
Makes sense.
Like the original.
As much as we love Zelda, and there's nothing wrong with 12 million copies, but Zelda has never been Mario or Mario Kart or these type of evergreen titles. So 23 million is a bunch. Like that is a ton for that.
Nintendo's
style
making
of
money.
Game. Oh, they are.
Skyward Sword sold 3.6 million.
Ring Fit Adventure, 10 million copies sold.
That's what's up.
10 million club.
Come join the club, guys.
Mario 3D All-Stars, 9 million copies sold, and 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which launched in what, March? Was it February?
End of February.
February?
January.
5.5 million sold already.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's going to far outsell the Wii U version of the game, and I would imagine that number.
If it has it not already?
Maybe has. Like I said, I didn't check these, but I would imagine it goes over the 10 million mark as well. Eventually, I'd imagine it go that high. So, for this upcoming year, Nintendo is forecasting a 12% drop off in the coming year due to shortages in components. And then the other highlight note is they've nominated Illumination CEO Chris Meledandri as a new outside director on their board of directors. So Nintendo's leaning a little bit into like this movie project that they're working on. We've got that
animation.
We've got that Mario movie coming in 2022. And I would say that them appointing him to the board means there's probably more than that coming.
Oh, probably a lot more.
Maybe we get a Zelda something and more.
Yeah. Maybe. Zelda Netflix series. Let's go.
Be cool.
Let's get Link.
I put this in here because I think it's somewhat related. The Japanese news publication, which I still do not know how to say correctly, the Nikkei, has published a report that claims the Kyoto-based company is significantly ramping up Switch production. The report states that Nintendo is increasing Switch production to 30 million units for this fiscal year, which ends March 31st. It would be Nintendo's highest production level to the date for the popular system. I've seen this spun a bunch of different ways. I've seen people go, it's the Switch Pro, and that's what they're doing. I've seen people go the opposite. It's not the Switch Pro, and they're just going to make more of the Switches that are selling like hotcakes. I don't think anybody knows. But,
nobody knows.
Yeah, I think Nintendo is being conservative with their prediction, with their 12% drop off.
Yes,
Nintendo has a history of under promising and over delivering. That's how they keep their stockholders happy. So I think they're being a little conservative with that. Like they know if they've got the software that they keep saying that they have, like this unannounced software lineup that's apparently really, really good, then I think they're going to sell that many.
They'll do just fine
with ease. Yeah. Other notable news released this week, yesterday actually, Nintendo announced Game Builder Garage is coming June 11th for $29.99. Here's the pitch. Have you ever dreamed of building your own video game? With Game Builder Garage, software is a great place to start. Anyone can learn the basics of game design and visual programming with step-by-step lessons created by the minds at Nintendo. I watched the trailer. I checked out the site. This looks a lot like the Labo VR thing that they had. It looks like they just spun that out as its own thing. I personally have zero interest in this whatsoever. None. I messed with the Labo thing, and I thought it was clunky and kind of, a lot of people are like, it's Mario Maker. It is not. Mario Maker is almost intuitive. I gave Jack a Wii U tablet when he was 5, and he built a Mario course. Like, this isn't that. This is you've got to really this is for people that really want to become game designers, I believe.
Yes.
They're not marketing this as a game. If you go on their website, they're calling it software. They're not calling it a game. It's lessons. I think if you're somebody who maybe has some kind of interest in game design and programming and you have no experience and you just kind of want to see what it's like and what's behind it, this is for you. If you have kids who, say, I'm going to make video games when I grow up, this is for them. Yes. It looks very kid-friendly, very beginner-friendly. It looks really simple on the surface, but seeing after what people made with the Labo, with, all of the, with Dreams on PS4, I think people will come up with really all of those. Like people can get really creative. I think you're going to see like the people who go way above and beyond with this. You're going to see some pretty cool things. But if you're not going to do that, I think this is very elementary, the basics of game design.
Yeah,
I really do like this type of idea from Nintendo because I think other than video games, they are like about fun, but also about education and want to like reach out to kids. And this is probably one of the more perfect ways to go about it. If this came out when I was like a wee lad, like elementary and middle school, I would totally think about getting this. Or like, you know, in schools, I was just like considering like getting this type of software. I went to a robotics class in 7th grade just to make Legos and program. You know, we would just do it on the computer. We could do this almost like same exact thing, only just like at a game design level, gamify it, and then just see if you're into it as a kid. So I think it's cool.
I like that they have lessons.
I think it is cool.
I think the hand holding is helpful because I was very confused when I was messing with the VR thing. I was like very confused. Like, what am I doing? Where do I go? Like, how does this work? You know,
they have lessons, and then they have like kind of the free programming mode where you can just kind of go wild with it. And I think it's the price is right too. I think $60 would have been a really hard sell for people thinking about this. I think, you know, people who are vaguely interested, or like even parents who like want to try to get their kids into game design or programming, $30 is easy pop.
I think I would have preferred they have done the free-to-play route with this. I would have imagined you make it available for everybody to download, and maybe you let them have like the first 3 lessons, and like you pay to unlock it.
That would be a cool way. I'm sure they considered that.
There are in-game purchases if you look on the website, so there probably are more advanced things that you can buy later.
Packs and things that you can throw in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is coming to Nintendo Switch on June 25th. Yeah. So if anybody missed out on that, I already have it, so I'm not going to get it again. I will get it on sale at some point. It's one of my favorite games. The footage that I saw of this game on Switch from IGN when it was announced looked good enough that I was like, I'd like a portable version of this game, but it's got to be on a budget for me. Like I got to get it for like $15.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
I liked it as a kid. I don't know if I would get it now.
For those folks that don't have it, right, and they don't have a system that has it, like it's a really great game. So definitely go get it. And I remember Elaine was saying that she wouldn't be surprised if it was 60, and I think it's 40. I think they're keeping the same price, so it's like a budget release. It's a great collection. It's a great game.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. As part of Epic's ongoing lawsuit against Nintendo, an internal presentation shows plans for the new Fortnite skins, one which was Metroid Samus Aran. Garrett, I didn't get to see this news. I know this news was dropping like all over the weekend and stuff when I was test driving cars and stuff, so fill me in here.
This is the lawsuit with Apple, actually.
This is with, you said against Nintendo, it's against Apple. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, Apple. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, it's just some leaked documents going back and forth between Epic and Apple, and we're seeing a lot of different things of Epic deals and like with Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo, and this is just one of the major Nintendo leaks with Fortnite, saying that they pitched an idea or skin of Metroid Samus Aran, and then the internet went crazy. It's like, oh, when is this going to come out? Is it going to come out now?
The game gets announced. This
E3. That would be much better.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. I read that it wasn't. That it was pitched. That it was planned. So there was some kind of speculation of whether Nintendo had approved this or not. Whether Nintendo was kind of on board. If it's still coming. If was something that they were talking about but was canceled. Yeah, there was like very little there to extrapolate from. So of course people are running wild and saying this is coming. It could be theoretically.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it is.
I hope it is. I'm buying this in a heartbeat if it is.
Pretty cool because I remember we were talking about that, how it was rumored, how people were saying how cool that would be if it was when, who was it, Kratos or whoever, Master Chief was joining it.
They had that Hunter's Pack.
Yeah, and we were speculating that Samus would be like pretty cool for that.
Yeah.
And it turns out that actually was something internally
that
they
came
discussed.
And went. They're not even doing that anymore, I don't think.
Yeah. So chances are it probably won't, but the fact that it was even planned is pretty cool. I was a little bit, I think, confused because I saw a lot of Metroid fans being disappointed about the possibility. When I personally think that Samus in Fortnite would be the
best
thing to happen to Metroid decades.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
At least recognizing the brand.
That's a good way of getting people used to it. Like, I cannot tell you, Rebecca, you're spot on. Sorry to interrupt you, but the amount of times, and I actually think it's kind of annoying, the amount of times that Jack has asked me to buy a video game because somebody freaking came to Fortnite. And I'm telling him one time, I'm like, you need to think for yourself. Like, quit letting Fortnite think for you. I think
Fortnite is literally sucking your kid's brain.
Dude, Ryu came to Fortnite, and Jack, for 2 weeks, played Street Fighter. He was into Street Fighter, and I had to hook up Street Fighter for him to play it. You know, like,
even if 1% of the Fortnite players think about buying Metroid as a result of Samus being in it, that would be a ton of people, and it would be getting people to recognize the character. It would be putting kind of Nintendo's like kind of thoughts about Metroid and Samus, and in the limelight.
That's why you announce it when you announce a new game.
Yeah,
people
there you go.
hate the idea of like their character being in Fortnite, not realizing like Fortnite is a popular game, and like just because it's popular doesn't mean it's bad.
It's way more popular.
Just because you don't like
Smash
it doesn't mean
Brothers.
it's not like it would be a huge deal. The fact that they're putting one of their characters that we all recognize and consider, but I think the mainstream does not know who Samus is.
Jack doesn't know who Samus Aran is.
Amazing. That would be amazing for Metroid.
Jack would call her Metroid. He doesn't know who she is.
Think about giving that marketing to millions of people.
Yeah, and kids.
And kids.
And I think that's a big deal, because a lot of times the opinions that we share with others that follow us and stuff are opinions of our demographic. Our demographic knows a lot about Samus and Metroid. Another demographic doesn't.
All the kids playing Fortnite, man.
Like at Jack's age, none of his friends know who the hell Samus is. And I think that's why you would save this for a game announcement. Like, if I would only hope, because it feels like Nintendo's not getting enough out of it if they're not. Like, you save this for, we have a new Metroid game coming in 4 months, and Samus is in Fortnite today. Let's get a lot of people seeing Samus, talking about Samus, trending Samus. Like, that's going to help the game. Like, you're giving Metroid like the chance that it needs to prove that it can be more than what it's historically been.
I know people are worried about like what kind of audience would be coming into the Metroid games and kind of populating that, but you gotta look past that. Who cares if kids are playing Metroid?
Metroid just needs an audience.
It's more sales, which means you're gonna get more Metroid games sooner rather than later.
It needs any audience. What are you talking about? Like, they're worried about the audience. The problem with Metroid is that the audience is so small.
There's a lot of gatekeeping in the Metroid community right now.
That's the definition of gatekeeping. Oh my goodness. If
you want more Metroid games, that's how you get it.
You need a Metroid game to sell 10 million copies. That'll get you more of them.
Yes.
Let it explode like Animal Crossing. Like,
honestly, let me tell you, there's Animal Crossing fans that are big gatekeepers too. It is so bad. There's people who like consider
I did about 100 episodes with one.
Well, here's the thing. You have the Animal Crossing fans who are Animal Crossing fans, and then they say, okay, and then the New Horizons players, like, you're not a real Animal Crossing fan if you didn't play the older games, like, because they don't like New Horizons as much. There's a lot of gatekeeping in that wholesome community.
Jog my memory. I wanted to ask you last week, and I totally forgot. Like, what's going on with Animal Crossing? I saw like a bunch of opinions one day that people were mad about Animal Crossing. I was like, what the hell is going on?
People are upset that the updates in year 2 are not as good as the updates in year 1. They have pretty much outlined, from now until like, June, July, like they kind of outline like what the next couple months are going to be, and it's a very bare minimum, like a couple new items. It's not like the same kind of monthly events that we got last year. Okay. And people are very upset to see that it's not, the updates aren't going to continue on for, like, we're still getting updates, but like they're pretty lame.
You want substantial updates?
Yeah, there's nothing substantial. There's nothing that's bringing me back into the game.
Yeah, let Nintendo know. Internet, let them know. Tell them you're pissed off. Like, hey, 30 million of us bought this damn game, and we need you to do something.
And Nintendo's like, we've done our job.
Yeah, right? Right?
I think people would even be willing to pay for more content at this point. I think the frustrating part for people is that there's a lot of things that were in the older games that aren't in this one that they want to come back. You still see a lot of people that are asking for the character Brewster with the coffee shop. I think that's kind of the big one that people want. There's a lot of like of those special characters that we haven't seen at all, and there's a lot of opportunity for them to come back.
You guys got to reach higher than that. Like, I'm thinking like you need like a whole new island expansion or second island.
You need season passes.
Update the game. It's like, do you see what these games are doing? Like,
they want the old content,
expansions and shit.
Yeah, they want the old content, but I think, go back to the old games for that content. I think there is a lot, like you said, there's a lot more that you could do with this. There is like data mines every once in a while, like where they found like that there's a coffee shop in the data, but it's just not implemented. There's like a shore expansion, like where the shore goes out and like makes the island bigger, but that hasn't been implemented. So I think like people are kind of digging into this and like they're seeing like what could be that just isn't.
The campground expansion that we got on 3DS, that was cool and like unexpected. Like that's the type of stuff that I think the community should be asking for. Like, let's update the game. Like, they're supporting it with their cells and their
they are. They're asking for that. They're asking for big updates. I think that the fact that it's just like, okay, well, now you can look forward to May being prom season. So like you can get like dresses in the shop, and it's like people aren't going to start playing again for that.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like the May Day. Last year they had the big May Day event, and this year they're like, we're bringing it back. And this year it's different. The maze is a little bit different than last year. It's like
different color scheme.
Yeah, it's like not enough to bring people back.
Yeah, that would kind of make me angry. I 100% get it. Like, it's like, do better. Let them know.
Yeah. Yep.
It is a little weird. That feels like the Animal Crossing team is slow on that. I want to say they almost feel like they've always been kind of slow on that stuff, right?
They're slow. I think Nintendo didn't expect it.
I wonder if they just need more
level of
like, do they just need more talent? They need more devs?
No, I don't think so, because the other thing that is making people frustrated is Pocket Camp, the mobile game, is getting a lot of good content.
Why is the mobile game getting a lot of good content, but not the
because it
main
makes
thing?
a lot of money.
Does it though?
I mean, not like a lot, but
the Nintendo start implementing some damn DLC and microtransactions. I've said this before. I think Animal Crossing is ripe for that business. If there is a game that Nintendo has that can make bank like that, Animal Crossing is it.
Well, they added the Sanrio update, all the Hello Kitty characters, but they limited it to the physical cards that you had to go to Target for. You had to buy them online, pick them up in store. They sold out immediately.
People should be able to just buy that crap online.
Yeah. If they had added that as DLC, everybody would have bought it.
I would sell you guys so much like exclusive Zelda shirts and shoes. Like, I would make so much bank off Animal Crossing if I ran Nintendo.
I just think initially when they planned Animal Crossing, they just didn't really think about the support system behind it, because we also saw it with the cross save as well. That was a whole other debacle.
I feel like Mario Tennis got more support post-launch than this game.
Yeah.
A little bit.
That's sad.
Which I don't know why you say that they didn't expect it, but New Leaf sold over 10 million on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not expected a little bit more.
Like, people think that Animal Crossing was a small niche franchise before this. It wasn't. It's one of the best-selling games on the 3DS.
It had a lot of copies for sure. Yes.
Yeah.
I just don't know why they thought ahead.
It's got that broad reach. There are people that buy consoles just for Animal Crossing. Just like there are people that buy consoles just for Smash Bros. It's like that.
Yeah.
I think so. When we think about supporting and going long term, like other studios, like we're kind of seeing that more and more, like these live service games getting updates and everything. We have to understand that Nintendo regularly doesn't work like that.
Right.
We do.
I kind of thought they would, because a lot of the team that does Animal Crossing did Splatoon.
Yeah,
that's true.
There's a lot of overlap in the development teams there. So I kind of, and we did see that same model of updating for the first year that we did for Splatoon. I don't know.
I always thought that the events, and I'm not an Animal Crossing fan, but I always thought the events that we did have, like when I watched my daughter and wife play, lackluster. It's like, hey, you can play tic-tac-toe this month. It's like, thanks? Like, what the hell, guys?
So yeah, and imagine like that was considered a substantial update last year. This year, it's even less than that.
You look at Nintendo and you see like what they've done with like mini games and little things. Like, guys, come on.
Still missing a lot of quality of life stuff. We still can't do online, games with friends.
It's so weird.
Missing a lot of stuff.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
Fall Guys on Switch and I guess Xbox as well has been delayed past summer, but it will include crossplay by the time it arrives. I hope that it also includes free-to-play. Maybe. My only silver lining is maybe. Because didn't Epic bought them, right? Yes.
Epic did buy them, yes.
Maybe this is Epic about to Epic Fortnite, which is what I've always wanted. The way that you make Fall Guys work is it's free to play, and we're gonna sell you here's Superman's cape and Batman's cowl and Mario's hat, and you give us 99 cents to buy that crap, and while you play Fall Guys endlessly with tons of players because it's free to play. I hope that that's a part of it. I don't think so because they already announced pricing. I don't think they're gonna go back on that. But
I think it's on Steam as well. So
maybe.
I think it's possible because they sold Rocket League for a long time, and then they recently made that free to play.
And that was an Epic thing, right? Like they brought them in, and then they made it free to play.
Yep.
It wasn't free to play before Epic came in. So I hope.
I feel like I played this a little bit. I got it on PC and stuff, and I played it, and then I kind of stopped playing it because I wanted to play it on Switch. It was finally announced, and I got excited again. Then it was in summer. I'm like not so excited because I had to wait that long. But you know what? I'm not going to be working during the summer. I'm going to be excited for it. And now that they say it's delayed past summer, I'm like not excited again.
It's like,
That's all my kids
and
said about it.
I'm sure I'll get it. I'm sure I'll play it. But this should have been a year ago. Like this shouldn't have been.
Well, I think that's PlayStation's thing. I think they bought it for a year,
I know. But I wish that they had like an out now type of thing when they revealed it. I think that might have been a little bit more hype.
For sure.
This is just waiting too long for it. Like people already call it a dead game, and I know there's still a lot of people playing it, but oh my gosh.
That is the common thing.
Right?
Is that it's dead, it's old, it's like Jack told me Among Us killed Fall Guys. And I'm like, Fall Guys isn't dead, and I think the way that shot in the arm, that excitement that people want, it's free to play. You play it right now.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
I don't want to hear about Fall Guys again until there's a direct in October.
Put some cool Nintendo skins.
Yeah.
Let us have Mario's
Fall
hat
Guys.
or something.
It's Halloween event. Fall Guys is out now. It's free to play. Everybody go play it. And then I think if that happens, everybody will be totally excited to play it again.
Yeah. We'll play it for a couple weeks and then we'll probably stop playing it again.
We'll drop it again.
If they support
and it won't matter if it's free to play.
If they support it like they support Fortnite, Fall Guys can be like that.
That's true.
I believe
it can be really successful
in its formula. If it has that kind of content, it can be like that. I would give them so much money to dress up my Fall Guy as Joker.
Think about the Nintendo characters,
Fortnite stuff like that. Yeah,
all the Nintendo characters. Yeah,
if I could have a Samus Aran Fall Guy, here's $10. I just want to do that.
Yeah,
because I think Fall Guys is super fun. I believe in the formula. But
it's a good formula. Yeah.
Their content that they had, it's like here's squiggly line shorts and here's dot shorts, and it's like no one cares about that. It's stupid.
People will buy it.
Yeah, but it's like give me Mario's shirt, and it's like here's some money. I'll buy that because I do want to dress it up. I think it's cool.
Yep.
Okay, Rebecca, would you hit us with some questions?
Absolutely. Let me see. G-Man wants to know if Nintendo Switch Online got canceled and switched to becoming Virtual Console instead, would you rather have the big library of games to have digitally forever or something completely different that allows access to those games?
I don't think I understand.
Is that asking? I think that's asking if do you prefer the Switch Online kind of Netflix-like library that you have right now, or the kind of pick and choose what you want to play? Yeah, but but the options that we have.
I prefer the Nintendo Switch Online thing. I think it's best for customers. I think it's best for Nintendo.
I'll have to agree. There's only specific games I would buy piecemeal, but overall, just give me as much games as you think you can with a subscription service.
I think a few of Nintendo's back library games are so special that folks will always want to have access to them, and I think that's why you lock them in a subscription, because that guarantees you constant revenue. Whereas if you just put it up, then people buy Super Mario 3 and Link to the Past, and you never get money from them again.
That's true.
So I
you
think
just get those 2 or 3 games.
I'm totally fine with them locking this off. It's just a subscription. It's our old catalog. I wish the catalog was better.
I think that's the big thing.
Was better,
that's a big thing.
But Nintendo's Virtual Console library, Nintendo's legacy, is completely worth subscribing for.
Yes.
Wholeheartedly.
And I will say that I tried games on the Switch Online library that I would not have paid $7 for to play on the Wii U.
Right.
I would never do, because there's too many games that I'm just going to play for a couple minutes just to kind of check out what it is. And I don't really necessarily think that it's worth paying $7 for each of those now, in 2021. But I do think it's a little unacceptable that there are all of those options on the Wii U that I can still go buy for $7 and I can't play on the Switch.
Yep.
It's really unacceptable, and you can't defend it.
If the Switch Online library was what it could be, I'd pay double or triple what I'm paying for now.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
If they had options of higher subscription models and just bring in more games.
N64 stuff, Game Boy stuff, Game Boy Advance stuff, GameCube stuff, I'd pay $60 a year, $80.
I would pay $60 a year if it had
ultimate price level for that type of stuff.
If it had everything that's on the Wii U and 3DS Virtual Console libraries, I would not even blink at paying $60 a year for that.
I've brought this idea up a few times. You guys have heard it before, but if our listeners haven't, I think this is the perfect way for Nintendo to enter the streaming market when they do. I think they don't cannibalize their hardware. Like if you want to play the new Zelda game, you got to buy the Switch. But I think you take Nintendo Switch Online and you make it streamable, like the whole thing, and you get subscribers and people on their phones and people on their TVs, and like you can play Super Mario World for
that would
$25 a year or whatever. Like that's money in Nintendo's pocket.
It really is, and I feel like you would get a lot of casuals that way.
People will totally subscribe for that old content.
People who are like
is valuable.
Especially the people, there's a lot of people who will look at a $300, $400 console and say, no way.
Yep.
And then you have to buy the games on top of it? No way. Because they want to play on their phones, or, that they're used to those
there's so much nostalgia of people that grew up with that stuff. And there's so much nostalgia with people that left video games, and they like the new video games is too much. It's 4K, it's 120, it's quick resume and haptic. It's too much. They just want to play Mario. And like I'm waiting for Nintendo. It feels crazy because Nintendo is normally not that techy, but I think it's inevitable. I'm not saying this year or next year, but I think it's inevitable that they'll go that path as everybody else does. Like they'll follow behind, they'll kind of tag behind. But I think when they do, I think the first step is to be like, hey, don't have a Switch, you can still subscribe to Nintendo Switch Online. Like we've got some 64 stuff, we've got some GBA stuff, but here's 100 Nintendo back catalog games you can play for $30 a year. I think that's an easy sell for them, and you get a lot of customers. I think
the one thing they're going to have to sell on the phones, though, is that I don't know if touchscreen controls would work on most of those games. You're going to need.
They're going to sell you a controller and a clip for that.
Yeah, a Joy-Con controller.
That's a part of it.
Put to the side. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. They're definitely going to sell you a controller. Nintendo is not going to do. They don't care about that.
And it's going to look ridiculous, and it's going to have weird wires, and
they may sell you different ones. There's the NES one, and here's the Super Nintendo one, and
then there's going to be third-party ones that are going to be better.
Dude, if there's anybody that's going to sell you some plastic crap to go with that, it is definitely Nintendo. They are absolutely going to make a controller for that specific purpose. 100%.
Oh yeah.
We'll see how it goes. See if they take that route.
Do it. Ante says top 3 Nintendo Switch first-party games that will benefit from a Switch Pro patch the most. It can be performance-wise or visual quality-wise, or how can the game be modified content-wise to better use that horsepower?
We're assuming already out, not like future predicting.
Yeah, already out.
Yeah.
That
Age of Calamity.
Age of Calamity is like number one.
Top of my fan just struggles. Breath of the Wild.
Sure. I think Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Good one.
Yeah, I think that one's going to
I think there's got to be a better answer than Breath of the Wild, because that game is still beautiful. Like
it's just certain areas
but it could be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have a better answer though. I feel like there's.
Is there another first party game that performs poorly? Like most of their games perform really well.
Yeah.
Like Mario Kart 60, Mario games are at 60.
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers is great.
Yeah. Luigi's Mansion is utterly gorgeous.
Fantastic.
Luigi's Mansion.
That's why you don't complain about it. Astral Chain, that's not first party, but that's okay. It's an exclusive.
Smash is online. Does that count?
Kevin took. We were talking about Astral Chain in Discord, and Kevin took opposition with. I want to say it now because I would love to hear what listeners think. I said in the Discord. Rebecca, have you played Astral Chain?
I have not.
But you have, Garrett.
Yes.
I think Astral Chain is one of the Switch's best looking exclusives.
From an art style standpoint, I can
I'm not saying
get behind that.
It's the most realistic. I mean, it's an anime game, but like there are moments in that game where that game looks really good. Like I'll never forget like how good like those motorcycle sections look with like the wet pavement and the neon lights. Like
it's very stylized.
It's
like,
damn, this game is pretty.
For a Switch
game, of course,
it's like really good,
game, right? That's not like an indie game. Like I think there are great looking games on Switch. Don't get me wrong, but like a bigger production. You know, it's not like Gree. Gree's beautiful, totally.
Right.
I'm meaning this in a totally different way. Like this is technically impressive.
It is technically impressive.
How many other games like Astral Chain run at 21 frames a second? You know, like
yeah. I think because of the art style of it, the cell shading gives it a lot more leadway of they could do other things because it's less technical pressing with cell shading art style. But that game, there's so many different styles, so many lighting too, and shading, and then the weathering effects. It's
very
pretty
bright and bloomy, and it's got really nice like contrast and colors. I don't have a better answer for a first party. Splatoon.
Splatoon's good, dude.
Splatoon doesn't need it.
And they're not going to patch it. They're going to do the new one. You know, like
they're going to do Splatoon 3.
Oh, yeah.
Snipperclips.
Snipperclips. That's you remember that game.
Let's just get super weird with it, right? Like 1-2 switch. Mario Golf.
Goodness.
There you
go. Brendan wants to know our favorite Nintendo gaming peripheral, either first or third party. He says the Game Boy Advance player for the GameCube for first party, and the Hori Split Pad Pro for the third party. I didn't really have a lot of peripherals growing up. I had like the Rumble Pack and stuff for the N64 was obviously so cool at the time.
My answer was the N64 Game Boy Transfer Pack.
Oh, that was cool too.
Absolutely my answer.
Was really cool.
That's how I played Pokemon.
Yeah, that is cool. Because I put all my Pokemon from Blue into Pokemon Stadium, and it was really cool to see them kind of in 3D for the first. That was like my first time seeing my Pokemon in 3D. Like,
I never knew that as a kid.
Realistic.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it was like their nicknames and their level. Like it's them.
That's so cool.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
I can't believe I never realized that when I was a kid. I would totally go for it if I had it.
Yeah. I feel like there were a lot of cool ones that I just didn't know about. Like the Game Boy Advance player would have been so cool, but I just didn't have it. I didn't know about it.
Yeah. The GOAT is actually the Game Boy lamp stand, like kind of thing, right? That goes on top of your screen. The game I had it, the Game Boy Color, and then I had a little.
You needed it.
Yeah, you needed it. You plug it into the side, and it was like a little stylized, like twirling around, and then just pops right on top.
How do you see that? And on like late night car rides, you would need that.
Yeah.
It's kind of janky, but
oh, I love that thing.
It was so janky.
I stayed up like so late in bed.
Under your bed, under your covers.
Yeah, under my covers, make sure my parents don't see it.
I know. We just talked about Nintendo selling a bunch of useless, priceless plastic junk, and they have a long history of doing that.
Yes.
But I'm gonna highlight one here. I think it's dumb, but I really liked it. Was the Wii Zapper, the little gun controller? Kind of reminded me of like the Super Scope. I remember playing Call of Duty on the Wii, playing Medal of Honor on the Wii. With that was so much fun. But I like light gun arcade games. House of the Dead on Wii was stellar. That's why I'm looking forward to coming back to Switch. Like
it's kind of like type of stuff. It was a modern Zapper.
Yeah. The Zapper. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Really, really great. And I like that peripheral. So that'd be one of my answers. You know what? The Labo gun, like in the same way, super fun. It was the best. That VR game that you use the shotgun, that was the best Labo anything that we ever had. Like that was fun. That was actually a fun game.
Is nobody going to say the Wii wheel for I'm using tilt control?
Completely overrated.
I didn't have that.
I had one. It was dope. Yeah. I loved it.
No.
I enjoyed it.
Love it.
I enjoyed it.
Oh no.
I never.
It's like
I faced people with that wheel and I beat them.
Did you really?
Yeah.
The wheel is such a hindrance.
I was pretty good at it.
It like auto brakes and like has guides and stuff. It's like bowling with the bumpers up, you know? It's like I get it. Like, the idea behind the wheel is awesome, right? Because, like, racing wheels are a thing in games, but it's not like a racing wheel. It's like the Mario Kart, especially in Mario Kart, is such a dummied down version of Mario Kart when you use the wheel that I was like, this is awful. So
I had fun with it.
I can't think of any others that I would use. I don't really use any modern ones either.
Yeah, the horse split, the Pad Pros are pretty good, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
What about the on 3DS? They had that grip. They had the circle pad.
They did, and I think
that was like
that was a mess. Yeah,
they had to put batteries in it. It was like,
oh my gosh, I saw. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. The Monster Hunter setups, you basically get this huge add-on just to make sure that you're able to rotate the camera all around. It was insane.
It was big too. I remember like
it was like a
3DS looked like a Game Gear. I was like, what the hell is this?
I thought of one that I didn't have, but I really wanted the Game Boy printer. Oh my gosh. With the camera and the printer. And like, I remember there were a couple parts in Pokemon Gold where it was like, and now you can connect your printer and print out your pictures. I'm like, what the heck? I don't have that. So I would sit there and like try to act like I was like such a weird kid.
Did you get the printer?
No.
Oh. I mean, like the new one.
The Switch one.
Oh yeah, I ordered that.
Nice.
Yeah, it doesn't. I got the Pikachu one, so it doesn't come out for a little while. But I overpaid. It's totally ridiculous. I don't need $100 whatever.
It's gonna be a collector's item one day, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it though. I have it. Well, actually, I do have it. I bought because people were saying you better buy the film because it's gonna sell out on Amazon. So I bought 2 of these
ready
for a camera that I don't have. So I can print pictures of my Pokemon's butt.
Thanks.
The best thing.
Solid.
Yeah.
Proud of you, Rebecca.
Yeah. Yep. Any other peripherals?
Nah.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Crowler wants to know, are you disappointed that Nintendo didn't do more with the minigames that came with Luigi's Mansion 3? He says, I always thought they could have had Splatfest type events with a lot of the minigames.
Splatfest type events? That is...
I don't even know.
You're asking for a lot. No. I never expected that they would have more.
I didn't even touch the minigames.
You know, we talked about it with Pokemon Snap. Like, I'm a little surprised Pokemon Snap didn't have something like this. It's a neat little way of adding a little extra value to something that Nintendo typically does. But no, I mean, I think the Scare Scraper thing that they have in Luigi's Mansion 3 is great. If you've got co-op, it's really, really fun. Yeah. I hated how much they locked most of that behind paywall. I don't think Luigi's Mansion.
It was like a DLC season pass packs.
Yeah. They didn't need to do that. Like, if you just bought Luigi's Mansion, you should just get some of that stuff. Come on now.
Yeah.
It's mini games.
I will get that game someday.
Mario Party and every other thing else that we have.
Yeah.
I didn't even touch or think about DLC packs or the mini games.
There's a Ghost game in it now that I'm jogging my memory.
I've heard about that one. I heard it's pretty good.
It's like it's like Nintendo Land's Ghost game, which if you've never played is stellar. And the Nintendo Land Ghost game was excellent.
Yeah, someday I'll buy that game and know what it's a good game.
I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is one of the best exclusives on this entire system.
It's a great game.
Like, if you're, we've never done it. We should do it. One day we should do like a top 10 or 15 episode or something. But I can tell you right now, if you were like, Donnie, top 5 Switch games, Luigi's Mansion 3 is on that top 5 for sure.
Dang,
it is. That game is so much better than it has any business being.
See, I think I would probably like it a lot. I just wasn't a huge fan of the first one, and I know it's nothing like the first one, but I think just kind of that thought alone is turning me off from it. Like, I feel like it's not my type of game, even though I need to recognize that it's not like the first one.
Yeah, you know, and I love spooky flavored things. You'd think that Luigi's Mansion would be like up my... It never has been for me either. It's always just been kind of like a filler type title. It's like, I'll get it because I can play it. But this one exceeded those expectations so far.
I'll do it eventually.
It's just, I really appreciate with Luigi's Mansion 3, I think more than anything, like it's really funny first and foremost. Like, it's very charming and cute, and you'll laugh a lot. The animation work in the game is just like the best that Nintendo has ever done. Like it's so much better than like a regular Mario game. You know, like his expressions have so much more, you know, like in the little cutscenes that they have, and like even the level design and the setups and the things that you can do. Like I remember just being awed at how much I could do like in the setups. I remember I got the chainsaw accessory, and I cut like the bedpost down and the nightstand, and the nightstand
very
popped out.
Interactive environment.
Yeah, like there's just a lot you can do. Just I came away very impressed with the game. It's like a lot of hidden things. I was just like, damn, this game. I remember because I think if you went back and I listened to those episodes, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna play it, and then you hear me like 3 weeks later, I'm like, it's so good. It just really exceeded those expectations. It's just a surprise, you know, and everybody likes that. Like when you find that thing that really just does more than what you're expecting it to do.
Maybe I'll play it this Halloween. Maybe I'll finally do it.
Good one.
You know, Flea, my dog. Flea?
Yeah.
Yes.
We should have named him Luigi. Because he's scared of everything. We're thinking about doing like an Instagram. Like my wife wants to do Instagram because I just grab random objects and point them at him, and he flips out and flips and runs away. Like I'll just grab like a can of peanut butter and just turn and point it at him, and he'll just like spaz out and run away. Like he's so constantly afraid. I'm like, and that's the thing that comes to my mind when I see him do that. I'm like, he's just Luigi. Like we've missed an opportunity here.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable. Oh, poor Flea. Sammy Jean wants to know, what games did you pass up because you thought it would not be good? He says mine was Fire Emblem Echoes. Thought the remake would be old Fire Emblem, which I didn't think would be fun. Turns out I love it.
I was about to say, I'm glad you like it because that would have been a mistake because Fire Emblem Echoes was quite good.
It is a really good game.
I'm interested in hearing your guys' thoughts on this because nothing immediately comes to mind like from Nintendo. Right? Like there's a lot of third-party things.
Yeah. I feel like for most Nintendo first-party games, if I don't buy it right away, I'm probably not buying it. And that's I like this question because usually it's like, what games are you disappointed in that you thought you would like? This is kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
So like, is this implying that like I did eventually go back and buy this game?
Yeah.
See that I don't know if I have a lot of.
I don't have any regret. Like if I think of a game right now, it's like, oh, I need to get this. I would probably get it if I thought it was like.
So that's the thing. I buy too many games to really answer this question.
Yeah.
I buy them all, even if I'm like, if there's a game I'm interested in and on the fence, I'm still probably going to buy it.
Yeah.
See, I'm kind of like somewhat like that, but if I don't buy it right away, I'm just probably not going to buy it. Maybe I can eventually say this about Luigi's Mansion. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be a good one.
I mean, it's not that I don't think it's good. Like, I don't have that like thought about it. No, I mean,
there's not a game that I'm like really like a first party game really itching to get.
I wish I had more games in front of me so I can look at them all.
I know. I'm trying to look back.
There's gotta be one. There's got to be one that I was like, this is so much better than I thought it would be.
During the Wii U days, the only real like Yoshi game that I've ever played was Yoshi's Island, and I loved it. But I didn't buy any other Yoshi games growing up. I was not totally interested in Woolly World because I just kind of thought that it would be kind of cheap Yoshi's Island, whatnot. And I ended up renting it, and I liked it. I still haven't gone back and like played it all the way though. I don't know if that counts.
It's a really pretty game.
I don't know. It's not like I thought that was going to be a bad game. I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer for this.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll think. If I think of a good answer, I'll put it on Discord.
Oh, well, I don't have like the Paper Mario on a Wii U. Do you remember what that one was called?
Color Splash.
Color Splash.
Color Splash.
Yeah, Color Splash.
But here's the thing: like, it doesn't count because I bought it, but I didn't think it was going to be that good, and I didn't like it. It was a really beautiful game, just like the new one is. And the new one, just for the record, the new one's way better than that one, in my opinion. Like the new one on Switch, way better than the Wii U one. But I didn't like that game. But like, yeah, again, like it didn't win me over, so it's a terrible answer. But it's...
yeah, like I can't think of something that like I had a negative idea about it and then felt so different that I wanted to buy it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. I think at least for like first party.
I bet there's something on 3DS though. I bet there's something on 3DS that did that. I played a lot of 3DS games. Yeah, there's got to be something that won me over. Sorry, Sammy. I think it's harder for...
It's a good question.
It's a great question. I think it's harder for probably folks like us that podcast and play a lot. It's going to be really hard for us to answer that question.
We have a huge backlog.
We're not choosing. Like, we're not picking and choosing, one at a time or 3 a year, right? And I get 300 games a year. It's just like... Yeah. That's a little harder.
Crazy Legs wants to know if rumors are true about Nintendo and Xbox working together and it's not Game Pass coming to the Switch, what Xbox game would you most like to see come to the Switch? So like just a standalone Xbox game instead of via Game Pass.
Well, the easy answer is Rare Replay. I'll let you guys pick one of those if you want. I think it would be cool, and I don't think either one of you are going to like this, but I think it would be cool if they dropped the original Halo game on Switch. Not the whole collection or anything, but like just Halo 1.
The original.
Right?
That would be pretty
Halo
big.
1, like kind of keep it like kind of retro and stuff and just drop it on. That'd be fun. It would be fun.
I kind of like that. That kind of reminds me of like how they just put like all the original Doom on Switch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a good answer actually. Yeah, Rare Replay or Banjo is going to be my answer anyway.
Banjo's good. Yeah,
I think so. I think Viva Pinata is another
good
game that would be on Switch for sure.
Could Sea of Thieves go on Switch?
Yeah, I could totally see Sea of Thieves.
That would work.
Like being playable for the Switch audience. It's a huge crowd now.
There's a lot of people that play it.
And it's all about, getting together with your buddies, having an adventure together. So
outside of Minecraft, that's like Xbox's best like service game. They've got like 20 million people playing it between Xboxes and PCs. It'd be kind of cool to bring it to Switch, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good one for sure.
Yeah.
Will says biggest surprise prediction for E3 2021.
You guys go first.
Metroid Prime 4.
I don't think that's going to happen, but that would certainly be a surprise.
Yeah, it'd certainly be a surprise. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'd
be surprised if the 2D Metroid game came. I'd be
really you'd be surprised by that. Okay.
I feel like this is a really weird E3. I feel like things are just so weird because we didn't have it last year, and I feel like it's just an odd year. Like anything could go for this. We're in such a weird point in the Switch's life. I really don't even know what to expect going into this. Like when we get closer, I want to talk more about predictions because I really want to think about this because it's like
we just did that.
I think we did that.
I know we did, but when we get closer to the week or two before, I think the atmosphere of what we're thinking is going to switch because I still people talking about there could be announcements beforehand. We got this garage builder thing. I know we've been speculating this whole time, but I feel like right before, I feel like I'll have a better idea of what's realistic at that point.
So you feel like it's like a wild card because I'm in the opposite boat. I feel like I've got a good idea of not what I think is going to happen, but what I think could happen. I feel like I've got 5 to 8 things, and I'm like, that's probably going to be an E3. And then one of those is that Metroid thing. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'd still be surprised just to see Metroid.
Just any
Metroid is like a surprise, right?
It really is.
It's hard to believe
I feel like my expectations, I'm weird. I don't want to have very big expectations ever going into E3. I think if I kind of temper that and not really expect anything in particular, I enjoy the show more because I'm not waiting for when are they going to show 2D Metroid? When are they going to show Breath of the Wild? I really hope that they end with Mario Odyssey 2. I don't want to go into it with that. I still like to make my predictions and stuff like that, but I like to see what kind of show they bring. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm very pessimistic compared to a lot of people.
The biggest surprise is if they actually did a Mario Kart sequel.
Yeah.
That would be
Mario Kart 9.
Big.
I think
surprise.
That would be my answer. If you had asked this months ago, would have been Splatoon 3, but that's they did it. I'm actually kind of surprised that they didn't hold that for E3. They could have.
And I wasn't surprised that I thought that they would. I remember we've disagreed on that, I think, for 100 episodes. I've been thinking that they would do a third one. So when that happened, I was pleasantly excited for it, but
I was screaming at my screen.
I was
screaming.
Yeah, Splatoon. That makes sense. It's time. Let's do another.
And that's the thing. I feel like I have more moments where I'm screaming at my screen because I'm not expecting that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I think, and I think at least with what I've been, again, I've just been lucky, but the last 2-ish years, I feel like I've actually been pretty good on what I was expecting based on following the rumors and just kind of my own conjecture. I felt like pretty good, like with what it actually came to fruition. So,
can we make bingo cards?
I'm down to do whatever you want to do. Yeah, I think the Shack community would like to do
bingo cards. Let's do it.
I'll be down with that.
Okay. I was surprised. Like the last time I was surprised, I've been surprised like majorly 2 times. When they did the Smash announcement, the original Smash announcement, that caught me off guard. Like I remember it was Splatoon, right?
It was Splatoon.
Yeah, and they were doing the shooting and everything, and then like and I was like, oh,
I was freaking out hardcore.
And then Metroid. At that E3, when they just dropped a Metroid game casually in Treehouse, I lost my mind. I was yelling at people. I was like, we've got to go live again.
People logged off.
Right. I was like, we logged off. We did the stream and everything. I was like, everybody go back. And then 10 minutes later, I was like, you got to come back. You got to come back. They just announced 2 Metroid games.
Yeah.
That blew my mind.
Like, honestly, in my opinion, in the Switch's lifetime, like, that's like the most bizarre thing that Nintendo has done, really. Like, I don't know why they didn't just follow up. Prime 4 is in development. Here's Samus Return. Like, why would they wait? That's like, I can't justify why they did that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I know I'm not expecting a Metroid game. I think it's time. We've talked about this. We talked about it last week. So I want to believe in the 2D rumor because I think it makes sense. Like Mario Golf, it makes sense. So I wouldn't be surprised, I guess. So I'm going to take back my answer.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Donkey Kong. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Kirby. I would be surprised if we saw an F-Zero. That would be a surprise.
Coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, sure. That would be a surprise. Or like a Punch Out. Like if there was a new Punch Out for Switch, I'd be like, holy crap. Like that would surprise me.
These offshoot franchises that haven't been here in a while.
Yeah, I think any of those little ones, like a new Wario Land or like a...
I don't think that one would surprise me as much.
That would be surprising.
I think we get a game like that every year. It's not always Wario, but like between WarioWare, Mario Party, Clubhouse, like we get a game like that. I feel like every
new Advance Wars.
That would be awesome. You have no idea how excited I would be.
Rebecca, you just lit my eyes up.
I've never played it.
The worst thing that could happen to Rebecca on the Nintendo Shack is Advance Wars Gamescom. Me and Garrett do 70 minutes on Advance Wars.
I'm taking off this week, guys.
Yeah, like Fire Emblem, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I would like to see it.
Yeah, I'd be excited, but wouldn't be surprised at all.
Nintendo has surprised me a lot in the past year that wasn't at E3. I think that the biggest things that they've surprised me with are the Splatoon 3, like I said, the Pokemon Snap, like bringing something out of its grave.
I popped for Snap.
That was, I think bringing something out of its grave, like you said, would be big.
Arceus, right? And that was called
Arceus. Pokemon Arceus.
That was a surprise.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
That gameplay was a surprise too, let me tell you.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Let me think of one more good thing. Man, like some kind of other Nintendo Land type thing. I think would be a pleasant surprise.
About something new. Yeah. Would you be surprised if there was a brand new IP at E3?
I think I would be surprised.
I would be surprised if there's something we've never seen or heard of before.
That's very unsafe for E3, so I think to go there would be a big deal.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That'd probably be the biggest surprise if there was just a brand new IP.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good question.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Can we end on what's your favorite sandwich, says Open World Show?
Oh, yeah. That's
sure.
What about you, Garrett?
I normally go with my go-to. It's like ham and then pepper jack cheese, and then I go with like lettuce, tomato, pickle, put mayo and mustard in there.
Classic club.
Yeah, just like a classic club for me. Maybe some extra Italian meats if I'm up for it, if I'm game for it. Maybe Italian cheese, like if I really want to lean on it. But my go-to is a ham and cheese sandwich with all the dressings in it. Yeah.
I think you can't go. No, you can't go wrong with peanut butter and jelly. I think it's classic. I'm also going to throw out a shout out to grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese
with tomato. Grilled cheese with tomato.
I say I do grilled cheese with tomato soup.
That's good too.
That's my
acceptable.
standard Donnie doesn't feel well meal. Like if I'm sick, grilled cheese and tomato soup. It's definitely going to happen.
Shout out.
My sandwich is an Italian sub. We did an entire bit on an Xbox Empire at some point.
I think I remember.
I love Italian sub sandwiches. I will not stop eating them. Don't care what my blood pressure is. Like life's not worth living without it. Like it's just, that's how much I love that sandwich. So when done well, that's the best sandwich in the world.
No mayo.
Oh, I hate mayonnaise.
I know. That's why I said it.
It's funny.
Just had to specify that.
No, yeah, definitely not. Ham, salami, pepperoni, provolone cheese, lettuce, tomato, cucumber. I like pickles on mine, which is a little weird, but I like putting some pickles on there with Italian dressing. It's got to be provolone, and you gotta bake it, and you gotta bake it to a crisp. The pepperoni needs to curl. That's when you know you've done it right. Pepperoni needs to curl. You need that oil from the pepperoni.
Got so much friggin' oil
to
in
mix into the cheese that's being melted. That's how it's done well. And then you throw on all your cold cuts on top of it with a light oil and vinegar.
You're making me hungry.
Oh, it's so damn good. I'll never get tired of that sandwich.
I'm not a big meat person. I'll eat that kind of sandwich, but I don't seek that out as much as something like
I've eaten that sandwich
peanut butter.
And I'm not like happy to admit that I've eaten that sandwich for breakfast before.
Okay. Good for you, man. Live your life.
In Ohio, there is and you guys might have this actually in Pennsylvania. It's not that far away. You probably do. There's a pizza chain. It's national now. It used to be local, called Donato's.
I haven't heard of it, but
I feel like that might be familiar.
I think they're most known for their thin crust. They do a thin crust pepperoni that's like pepperoni from edge to edge, like just covered. You can't see cheese, just pepperoni. But they do a sandwich called the Big Don sandwich. It's an Italian sub. And I used to order them. And when I was a kid in Ohio, my mom used to order them for me a lot. So, like, I remember the last time I saw my mom back, like, when we kind of reconnected later in life as a teenager. I went to Ohio and saw her, and I stayed with her for, like, a weekend. And she ordered me one. I woke up at, like, 11 in the morning, and I just had a Big Don on the table. And I was like, yeah, we're doing this.
Wow.
Oh, I like breakfast sandwiches, like croissant.
Breakfast sandwiches are really good.
Like an egg sandwich or something.
So what we make every week is
bacon, egg, and cheese.
It's ham, avocado, cucumber, sriracha, mayo.
Wow, that sounds good.
It's really, really good,
actually. I don't know how to make this, but you just jogged my memory. I'm glad my wife doesn't listen. She'd hate to hear this. I once dated a girl that made me the best damn breakfast sandwich that I think I've ever had. It was like raisin bread, right? Like cinnamon raisin bread.
Cinnamon raisin, yeah.
But it had peanut butter and I think bananas. But it was like made like a grilled cheese. Like it was toasted and crunchy. And like the peanut butter was kind of melted and it was freaking amazing. Like I remember I left her house in the morning and I was going to work and I was like, I'm going to marry this girl. It was just like I could live my entire life like this. This is the best thing I've ever had. And I don't know. I don't even know if that's everything that was in it or not in it. It's just memory.
It was good.
I'm just going off like it was freaking amazing.
Yeah. You can win my heart with breakfast. I love breakfast. Breakfast foods. I love eggs. I love any type of eggs. Oh my God. I'm so hungry.
Yeah, she almost did. It was pretty good.
I might go fry an egg right now. It's 11 o'clock.
Do it. Need that protein.
That's going to do it for us this week in the Nintendo Shack. I'm happy that we did this. I feel better now than I did an hour ago.
Good.
So I'm glad we stuck through it. Hopefully, listeners, you enjoyed it. For those of you who followed us live, I'm sorry. Hopefully those issues are just being issues. I do hear rain starting. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But anyway, that'll do it for us this week in Nintendo Shack. Once again, final reminder, this is the last episode that will air on the PSVG Podcast Network feed. That is the feed called the PSVG Podcast Network. That's the feed that has all of our episodes. So if you're listening to the feed, the one feed that has Empire, Shack, PlayStation, board video games, all on one feed, that feed is being archived this weekend. If you listen to this episode, it's the last episode. So go to your podcast player, type in PSVG, and subscribe to your favorite shows.
Do it right now.
Going forward, you're not going to be able to hear them anymore on that feed. So I feel like
do it right now.
I feel like we've done enough warnings. I'm going to put out a PSA on this feed as well. Like we're going to put out an episode just like, hey, if you didn't listen to Nintendo Shack, but hopefully we don't lose anybody. But yeah, everybody
You're going to lose me.
move to the solo feeds. I'm not surprised that there are folks that are like, even today, people are like, why are you doing this? And I feel a little bit bad. I do a little bad because it's like it's our legacy. And honestly, the master feed is, I think, something that set us apart from so many other folks like us in our podcast community. And I know way more people don't like the master feed than do. I'm really happy that there are a few of you that do. Yeah. For the few of you that do, just know that there are only few of you.
There's like less than, I don't know.
It's like 6 people.
2%.
There's like 6 people that really love the master feed. And again, if you haven't heard the reasons why we're doing it, it's just to lower the time that it takes to post the episode. Like every time we post an episode, we're posting it in 2 places. So that's, copy and paste the show notes, copy and upload the file, schedule the thing. It takes time. And I know it sounds maybe insignificant, but you're probably talking 15, 20 minutes an episode. 15, 20 minutes every time, every day.
Up, yeah.
It adds up. It does add up. I would be lying if I told you I'm not looking forward to next week where I just post it once and move. I feel it's going to cut my post-show time in half. So that's the main reason why we're doing. Also, the listenership over there in the last 2 years has just fallen so significantly hard. And likewise on the solo feeds, they've all risen so significantly high. So the majority of people have already moved. And it's just not, if there's only 10% of those people that used to be there still there, it's not worth the time. And that's really why we're doing it. It's not worth the time to keep posting.
It's Donnie, it's so easy now on your phone to subscribe to all the PSVG podcasts and just set it to auto download. It's the same exact thing as the all-in-one podcast feed. So
we worked really hard. I worked with BMox. He helped me with all the search engine and everything. You literally just go to any podcast player. I think I've tested it on 6 different ones. Castbox, Pocket Cast, iTunes, Spotify. Just type in PSVG and all of our shows will appear.
Yeah.
So we've made it as easy as possible. So that's going to do it for us this week in Nintendo Shack. I'm really happy that you actually have a show to listen to this week.
Yay.
We almost didn't. Hopefully next week it turns out better. But until then, we'll catch you next time. Good night, Koopalings.
Bye-bye.